Hi Sagittarius, welcome back to my channel Tarot Z. I am Z and I'm going to be doing your tarot reading, finding out what are the messages with the cards that come out in this reading for you today. So let's begin. Let's find out what cards come through, what messages come out with the cards. Thank you so much for joining and for being here for the reading. So the first card that came out is the Knight of Pentacles. And we've got the Empress card. So we do have some earth sign energy with this Knight of Pentacles. You could be dealing with a Virgo, Taurus, or even a Capricorn. But we also have some Venus energy. You could also be dealing with a Libra or even a Taurus. And we have the Hanged Man showing up in the reverse. We do have some Pisces energy with this. You could also be dealing with a Pisces. And we have more Taurus energy with the Hierophant. So the Hierophant showing up over here, this does feel like a pretty safe situation to be able to enter into, especially when it comes to entering into a connection with someone or something that is more so of a commitment. I do feel like when it comes to Knights of Pentacles showing up over here, this feels like a very loyal person as well when it comes to their feelings for you. I also feel that somebody may be actually coming into your life after a period of having been in a space where it's like you've been working on yourself, as well as kind of putting a lot of energy and time and focus into yourself on an individual level. I do feel like this Knight of Pentacles does feel like it's something that's happening after a period of really doing a lot of deep introspection on your own. But with this Knight of Pentacles showing up over here, this does feel like an energy of being able to actually meet somebody who's going to actually contribute towards being able to form a connection that feels quite safe. I also feel that with the Hierophant as well as this Knight of Pentacles, this feels like a pretty committed energy when it comes to anybody you're meeting. And I do feel like things may be moving steadily but forward. I do feel like this person would be quite committed to you and to anything that you're starting with them. I do feel like with this Knight of Pentacles, this does feel like slow progress, but it feels like it's also solid progress as far as being able to have a foundation that's going to contribute to a long-lasting bond with somebody. I do feel like with this Knight of Pentacles, this also feels like an energy of being quite practical and having all of that in line when it comes to actually being able to consider entering into a connection with somebody. With the Empress card showing up over here, this does feel like a loving energy. I do feel like with this Empress card, this also feels like an energy of thinking about being able to have something that's going to really have something that's going to go the distance. Something that feels like it's going to also contribute towards having growth and even being able to build something or create something with somebody that's going to have a lot of growth and expansion as well. With the Empress card, this also could be an energy of being able to deal with somebody who's quite, I do feel, a very kind-hearted and compassionate energy when it comes to either the energy that they make you feel safe to be able to step into with them, or even the energy that they bring into your life. I do feel like with the Empress card showing up over here, this feels like a very attractive energy, but I feel that the attractiveness is going beyond even just the physical beauty, but it's also about having a lot of beauty within. And I do feel like it's also kind of something that resonates from somebody. This could be even how they feel about you, but I feel like there's a lot of attraction here. And with this Hangman showing up in the reverse, this does feel like an energy of really being in a space where I do feel like there may have been a lot of time taken to be able to really introspect on an individual level, or even when it comes to just relationships in general. And it feels like there's a new perspective that you may have actually adopted that is also putting you in a space where it's like you're open to being able to approach relationships from a different angle. But I do feel like when it comes to any connection, this feels like being able to enter into the one that feels most comfortable, as far as feeling like a safe connection with somebody who has your best interest at heart. And I feel like this person's looking out for your well-being as well as your emotional well-being. So I'm going to clarify these cards. So we've got the Queen of Pentacles, And we have the Three of Swords in the reverse. And we have the Seven of Wands in the reverse and the Chariot card at the bottom of the deck. So we do have some Cancer energy. You could also be dealing with a Cancer. So the Chariot card showing up over here, this feels like a pretty determined energy. I do feel like also a sense of being able to experience success when it comes to a pursuit. I do feel like there is a sense of being in a space where it's like you're ready and open to be able to embrace something, as far as even a connection with somebody or even just a new chapter within your life. This feels like a pretty determined and also a pretty open energy to being able to actually pursue something that you want and something that's going to make an impact, that's going to put you in a space of being able to embrace, feel something either new, something different. But I do feel like with the Chariot card showing up over here, especially within a connection, this feels like a pretty successful energy when it comes to being able to work with somebody. I do feel like there's a spirit of cooperation. But with the Chariot card, I also feel like this also feels like movement, forward movement. With the Queen of Pentacles, I do feel like you are dealing with somebody who is someone quite nurturing, as far as even being somebody who is, there's someone who nurtures your connection. I do feel like this person is someone who shows up in a way that nurtures this connection, and even you're being able to be there for you on an emotional level, and even the emotional connection. So that's feel like an energy of somebody who is able to actually bring this sense of emotional safety because of being able to show up in a way that is going to bring about the sense of safety to this connection. This person feels quite loyal is what I'm getting. But with this Three of Swords showing up in the reverse, this feels like an energy of being in a really good space emotionally. I feel like also being able to experience a lot of strides within a healing journey. I do feel like with the Three of Swords showing up in the reverse, it's like a sense of being in a space where it's like you've decided not to let anything, any kind of pain or disappointment or setback be something that's defining your perspective moving forward. So it feels like being in a space where it's like you are taking charge, especially when it comes to being able to get to a space where it's like it's something that's demanding of your outlook. It's also going to determine the way in which you're moving forward. And I feel like moving forward with a perspective of being in a space where you're not letting anything keep you down or define your situation that is not going to serve you is also allowing for you to be in a space where you're empowered to be able to move forward, looking forward to what comes next. I do feel like with the Three of Swords, this feels like an energy of person who's been in a space where they have experienced their fair share of setbacks, which is normal. I do feel like it's also a sense of being in a space where it's like moving on from that. And I do feel like it's especially having an impact on you, where it's like you're not coming out of it jaded or dejected. Feels like you're coming out better and also wiser. And I feel like that Empress energy over here does feel like an energy of a person who's actually in a space where it feels like it's empowering. I feel like it's also an energy of being able to do good to others, despite having been through your fair share of difficulties. I do feel like that's also a quality that this person may be attracted within you when it comes to the way in which they feel about you. This could also be a quality that you see in this other person and are attracted to in them. This feels like a pretty positive outlook on life. And also, I feel like there's also a sense of being able to experience a very productive connection because of that. But with the Seven of Wands showing up in the reverse, definitely this feels like an energy of being able to find resolution, especially when it comes to any kind of differences that could have felt like conflict or misunderstanding or a setback. I do feel like the Seven of Wands showing up in the reverse, this feels like an energy of being able to clear the air. And I feel that there's also a sense of being in a space where it's like what you are after is peace within a situation. So it feels like it is a sense of also being able to clear the air, be able to find a way forward, not lingering on something that feels like negative energy as well. I do feel like this could also be the person you're dealing with energy towards you, and their actions towards you is coming from a space where a person is actually genuinely trying to be on good terms and be in a good space with you. I don't feel like this person wants to fight with you, wants to have any kind of bad blood. But I also feel like with the Seven of Wands in the reverse, it feels like an energy of not being defensive, being more so receptive to being able to make peace within a situation. So I also feel like there could be some clearing up the air, especially with the Hangman showing up in the reverse. This does feel like an energy of also having been in a space where they could have been some time apart, or they could have been somewhat of a separation. I do feel like with this Hangman showing up in the reverse, it feels like an energy of being in a space where somebody has a new perspective or is seeing things from a different light. I feel like this person's approaching you with wanting to be able to actually to bury the hatchet. So I'm going to clarify these cards. So we've got the engagement card. We've got worth waiting for. And we have calling in your soulmates. So the engagement card, this does feel like an energy of being in a space where things are developing. I feel like naturally it does feel like it's nothing forced. It does feel like also things being in alignment is also just naturally being able to unfold in a direction where you're able to have things move to the next level within a connection. I do feel like with the Hierophant and with the Knight of Pentacles showing up over here as well as the Empress, this does feel like an energy of wanting to be able to take a connection to the next level. I feel like also there's a sense of being in a space where there's a desire for a higher commitment within a connection with somebody that they want to either offer you or that they want to be able to work towards with you. I do feel like with the waiting for card showing up over here, this does pertain to the Knight of Pentacles. With this Knight of Pentacles, sometimes this can feel like a slow moving energy, but it is an energy where there is a sense of commitment towards being able to move things forward, move things along. I do feel like there is an energy of being able to experience divine timing being on your side when it comes to being able to see a lot of things that you're actually putting a lot of your energy and focus towards being able to come to pass. Even with the Empress card, this does feel like a creative energy when it comes to being able to have anything that you're trying to manifest or anything that you're putting a lot of attention, time, effort towards being able to be something that can actually help to manifest. And I do feel like a harvest season with that Empress card showing up over here, but there's definitely growth and expansion on the horizon. I do feel like with this calling in your soulmate card showing up over here, this feels like a very intentional energy. I also feel that with the Hangman, when it comes to being able to do the inner work, that also is putting you in a position where I do feel like your mindset is attracting it's putting you in a position to be able to attract a lot of opportunities. And I do feel like when it comes to being able to, especially within your connection, expand upon it, this also feels like an energy of having somebody who mirrors your intentions. And I do feel like being able to experience a connection that feels like a soulmate-like one with somebody who very well matches you. I do feel like with this calling in your soulmate card, this does also feel like an energy of your faith and also you being in a space where you stay hopeful. I do feel like with that Three of Swords showing up in the reverse, this is about not being dejected and being in a space where you continue to persevere. That is something that does serve you well. I'm also getting that with the Chariot card. So it does also feel like an energy of being able to experience after what may have felt like a long wait, but also feel like a long time of being able to really just focus a lot of energy onto yourself, as well as being able to do a lot of introspection. Also putting you in a position where it's like you're attracting different. And I do feel like that's also more so attracting something that's going to serve your higher good. So I do feel like with this calling in your soulmate card, this feels like getting into alignment in a lot of ways, as well as within a connection with somebody. So those are the messages that I am getting with these cards for you, Sagittarius, and I hope that you have a wonderful day, and I will speak to you in the next reading. Bye, Sagittarius.